I'm Kay Lyons. Thank you for tuning in for a half hour in 3 different time periods. We start here in 2023 as the Historical Society of Greenfield and Greenfield Community Television host the staging of a radio play first performed in 1950 about characters who begin their journey in 1859. Crazy Judah tells the story of Theodore and Judah, a true American railroad hero, and his wife, Anna Farron Pierce, no less heroic for her tireless work alongside her husband, promoting and even surveying for the Transcontinental Railroad. She came from the prominent Pierce family of Greenfield, Massachusetts, and met Theodore when he was living and working here as a civil engineer, laying out the Connecticut River Railway. On June 15th, the Historical Society will host a special presentation by Christine Pfeiffer-Foote, who will tell Anna's story in period costume at the Church of Saints James and Andrew, where Anna and Theodore were married. But now let's turn to the story of Theodore. Not crazy at all, just a dreamer with a very big idea. Arthur Arent wrote the radio play as part of the Dupont Cavalcade of America, a series of radio dramas and teleplays depicting historic American heroes with the theme of innovation. The ads for Dupont products and ideas were sprinkled into the broadcasts, and we give just a taste of them with the commercial for neoprene read with authentic radio diction by a real radio announcer to guide your time travel to March of 1950. And now, we begin with a letter to Anna Pierce Judah's niece, Miss Gladys P. Pierce, from Charlotte Bowles of the Dupont Radio Division, dated April 27, 1950, a month after the broadcast.
Dear Miss Pierce, your recent letter regarding our Cavalcade of America script, Crazy Judah, has been referred to us by the National Broadcasting Company. We were certainly delighted to learn that you enjoyed this program, particularly since Anna Pierce Judah was your aunt and you knew her so well. Because of your special interest, we're enclosing a copy of the script as it was broadcast. Thank you for writing to us. We hope you will join our Cavalcade listening audience on many Tuesday evenings in the future, and that you will find the programs of interest. Cordially yours, Charlotte Bowles Radio Division.
The Cavalcade of America, sponsored by the Dupont Company, makers of better things for better living through chemistry.
The year is 1859. The place, a ship bound from New York to Panama. Leaning on the rail of the starboard deck is a young man. As he stares off at the distant horizon, a small hand plucks at his sleeve.
Mr. Judah! Mr. Judah?
What? Oh. Hello, little girl.
I was told to look for you on the deck, Mr. Judah.
Were you?
And when I found you, I was to tell you something.
You were? What?
Lunch is now being served in the dining room.
Oh, it is it?
And if you do not come at once, a nice lady is going to be very mad with you. That's what she said.
Oh, she did. And who is this interesting person?
She said just to mention that she is your wife and that she's very hungry.
Thank you. What's your name?
Elizabeth. Mr. Judah, can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
Is it true that when we get to Panama tomorrow, we get off a boat and go for a ride on mules? Real mules?
Yes, Elizabeth. Only they're called burros. We ride across the Isthmus of Panama to the Pacific Ocean, and then we get on another boat like this that takes us up to San Francisco.
Why do we have to ride on burros?
Burros.
That's what I said. Why do we have to get off the boat at all?
Because by getting off the boat, instead of going around Cape Horn, we save 4 weeks.
I like you. Would you like to hear me sing?
Not just now, Elizabeth. I don't believe it would be advisable to keep that nice lady waiting any longer.
Will you come and talk to me after you finish eating?
Certainly.
Will you tell me all about the barrows?
Burros.
That's what I said, will you?
Certainly, my dear. You just wait right here. I'll be back as soon as I'm finished.
Darling, you seem so much brighter today, and you really enjoyed your lunch for the first time since we've left Washington.
That little girl, Elizabeth, she amuses me.
She's a darling, and I'm certainly grateful to her for giving you back your appetite. Theodore,
Yes, Anna?
do you still feel bitter about it? The railroad thing, I mean.
Not bitter, Anna. If Congress has decided against my idea for a Transcontinental Railroad, well, I guess they know what they're doing.
Darling, have you reckoned up what it cost? I mean, the round trip and our expenses in Washington.
Over $2,000.
We haven't much left, have we?
No.
What are we going to do?
Oh, there must be someone in California who can use a brilliantly unsuccessful engineer.
You're not unsuccessful, darling, and you're the smartest, most imaginative
I
man
guess I've
ever-
got too much imagination, Anna. Practical people are afraid of it. You know what they called me in Washington? Behind my back? Crazy Judah.
I know.
I'm not crazy, Anna.
Shh, darling. Those people at the next table, they're listening.
Someday that railroad I've dreamt about will be built. It'll cross deserts and rivers, yes, and climb over the high Sierra, too.
Of course it will, dear.
Anna, something has to be done to bring together our people of the East Coast and the West. Otherwise, this country will be in reality 2 nations, as unfamiliar with each other as the Turks and the Icelanders. Look at us. Tomorrow, we get off this boat at Panama. We ride burros across miles of pestilential swamp. Anna, do you know how many Americans have died from swamp fever contracted while crossing Panama? How many ships have been smashed or pirated rounding Cape Horn? Anna, that railroad will be built. It has to be.
It will, dear, and you'll build it.
I beg you to excuse me now, dear. I have a most important engagement on deck with an extremely accomplished young lady, age 9 or thereabouts. She's promised to sing for me in exchange for a dissertation on the topography of Panama and the correct seat on a burro. I'll see you later.
Oh, darling, what a relief to have Panama behind us. Those swamps and those awful mosquitoes. When will we reach San Francisco, dear?
Late tomorrow, I imagine. Anna, that little girl, Elizabeth, have you heard if she's better today?
No, dear, I haven't. Her mother hasn't been on deck, and I hate to go down and bother her.
I think perhaps you'd better go down, Anna.
Don't you think we might ask one of the stewards? Here's a steward now. Maybe he knows. Ask him, Theodore, will you?
Oh, steward!
Yes, Mr. Judah.
There's a little girl. Her name's Elizabeth. She was taken with swamp fever when we were crossing Panama a few days ago.
Yes, Mr. Judah.
How is she?
She's dead, sir.
Oh, no. Oh, the poor dear little thing.
I was afraid this would happen.
She died early this morning. The services will be held at sunset.
Services? You mean they're going to...
Yes, sir. The captain will read from the Book of Common Prayer and the body will be consigned to the sea.
Do they have to?
It's customary, madam, particularly in cases like this. Panama fever's contagious, you know. The whole ship might come down with it if the body were allowed to.
All right, steward. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. If you'd like to attend the services...
We would.
On the starboard deck, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
We beseech thee to entrust the soul of this child to thy never-failing care and love, and bring us all to thy heavenly kingdom through the same Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Rock of ages, clap for me. Let me hide myself in thee. Let the water and the blood from thy rib inside which flowed.
The dear sweet child. Her poor mother.
Panama fever. Panama fever.
The journey was too much for her. She wasn't very strong.
It wasn't the journey, it was Panama fever. Anna, you realize if there were a railroad across America, that child would be alive today.
Yes, dear. That's what I was thinking all during service. Well, Theodore?
Anna, I've changed my mind. When this ship docks at San Francisco, I'm going to start all over again. If the government won't help me, maybe some private citizens will. And if they won't, I'll go it alone. But Mr. Gorham, I tell you...
Judah, if a transcontinental railroad is so important, why'd the government turn it down?
Because Congress is thinking about something else these days. A civil war. I tell you, it's up to us, private citizens...
Judah, I want you to answer me one question. Have you made any surveys for this proposed railroad?
No, I haven't.
Have
but...
you located a single pass through the High Sierra that your proposed line could go
No,
through?
but I have explored those mountains on 21 separate occasions, and I'm absolutely positive that a pass could be found which could go straight through...
Find it, Judah, and when you've found it, come back and talk to me again.
Well, Theodore?
They want a preliminary survey to prove there's a pass through the Sierra. There is a pass, Anna. There must be.
And you'll prove it to them by finding it, dear. Now, let's see. We'll need lots of warm clothing and nourishing food.
We? What do you mean, we?
Well, darling, you can't go alone, can you? It's not safe.
Of course, I was thinking of taking somebody with me.
Who?
Well, someone to assist me with the surveying and all the other things.
Before.
And help get the topographical layout on paper.
I can do better than that. I can make sketches of them in
Anna.
color, maybe, that will show the actual pass the way it really is.
Anna.
Why not?
Because it's too strenuous an undertaking for a woman. Why, you might freeze to death up there.
Theodore.
Let's say no more about it, shall we? You know how stubborn I can be once I've made up my mind. And it is made up. Absolutely.
are we now, dear?
Almost 7,000 feet. Look! Look, Anna! Right up there.
The summit.
The top of the world.
Afraid, darling?
Yes, Anna. For 2 weeks now, we've been following this pass. We've climbed and zigzagged in a route that could easily be graded for a railroad line.
Well?
Anna, those few feet to the summit, I'm afraid of them. Afraid to get to the top because of what I'll see.
Now, Theodore.
Will it be a sheer drop? Will it be an impossible
mustn't-
grade for a railroad to go through?
You mustn't think of such a thing.
No, I mustn't. There is a pass down the other side. There must be. Come on, Anna. Let's go and look!
The wind, it's getting stronger.
I'm beginning to see, Anna. Over the rise and beyond.
Tell me, what do you see?
I see a railroad that has climbed to the stars. Starting down again, down an easy grade. Winding around that mountain ahead, traveling down through the pass. Anna, we found what we're looking for. The pass through the Sierra. The pass for the first railroad across America.
You are listening to the DuPont Cavalcade of America. Cavalcade is sponsored by the DuPont Company, makers of better things for better living through chemistry. Neoprene rubber, one of the DuPont Company's better things for better living through chemistry, serves you in hundreds of different ways. Rubber products made of neoprene range all the way from heavy-duty conveyor belts to household gloves and faucet washers. These and many other products for industrial and household use are improved by neoprene's ability to withstand heat, oils, and greases, and many chemical compounds which harm natural rubber. The neoprene products you buy are made for you by scores of large and small manufacturers. They, in turn, depend for their neoprene upon the DuPont Company, maker of better things for better living through chemistry. And now, back to our DuPont play.
Since Congress in 1860 was not very receptive to the idea of a transcontinental railroad, Theodore Judah went back to California and sought private capital to back his enterprise. He is just now addressing a meeting of San Francisco businessmen interested in the project.
Mr. Gorham, gentlemen, you asked me to find a pass through the Sierra. I have found it. It runs eastward from the town of Dutch Flat, eastward and over the mountains. Well, gentlemen, I have fulfilled your condition. Are you prepared now to form a company to launch this great project? Mr. Gorham. Mr. Handley. Well, gentlemen, surely you have something to say?
Mr. Judah.
Yes, Mr. Gorham?
Mr. Judah, you spent some weeks in the mountains locating this pass. During your absence, an event of some importance to investors in railroad bonds has occurred. The Sacramento Valley Railroad. I believe you are familiar with that line, sir?
Yes, I surveyed it and built it.
It has ceased operation, Mr. Judah. It has gone bankrupt.
Oh, I see. Do you imply, Mr. Gorham, that it was because of some fault of mine in the construction of the line, perhaps, that this occurred?
No, I do not, sir. What I do not only imply, but give to you as a hard fact, is that there is nobody in San Francisco who looks with favor on the idea of investing his money in railroad properties. I'm sorry, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Gorham. Thank you very much. I shall now move northward and see if the people of Sacramento share your prejudice. Good night, gentlemen.
So, Mr. Judah, you'd like us up here in Sacramento to go in with you, eh? To what extent?
Mr. Huntington and gentlemen, I ask only an earnest of your interest and goodwill. Certain final surveys of the route for this railroad still remain to be made. To accomplish this, I need the sum of $500 for instruments and expenses. Well, gentlemen?
Mr. Judah, you'll have to eat on this trip while you're doing that surveying, won't you?
I believe that will be necessary, yes.
All right. I'll start it off with a barrel of flour.
A barrel of flour?
Let me remind you, sir, that you're in California, not in the East. Out here, a barrel of flour is worth $100.
Yes, of course, I see. That's very handsome of you, Mr. Huntington. And it brings me to the very essence of the need for this railroad. Gentlemen, how many Americans in this city and all over California are going without bread because flour sells at $100 a barrel?
You mean this railroad would cut the prices all the way down?
In half, at least, Mr. Hopkins. Probably further.
Well, now, I don't know that that's so good.
Of course it is, sir. You'll make less profit on each barrel, but you'll sell many times more barrels. And you'll be putting bread on every table in the state of California. The widest possible distribution of goods. That's what's going to make the people of this country the most contented on the face of the earth. Well, gentlemen, as businessmen, are you willing to go forward with me on this project? Come in.
Excuse me, dear.
Oh, Anna.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Quite all right, dear. Gentlemen, this is my wife, Anna.
How do you do, gentlemen? Good to see you. Theodore, this telegram just arrived from the hotel. I thought it might be important.
Thank you, my dear. Gentlemen, this telegram is from Washington. I should like to read it to you. Congress has decided urgent need for Transcontinental Railroad in view of threatening war. Government will offer land grants and guarantee bonds as soon as you present surveys of route and projected paths through the Sierra. Well, gentlemen, are you prepared now?
You can count me in, Judah, any amount.
Judah, I've changed my mind. You can make that 2 barrels of flour.
Excellent, gentlemen, excellent. As soon as this final survey is completed, we start work on the Central Pacific Railroad, the westernmost link of a line connecting the Atlantic with the Pacific.
Not bad, eh, Judah? The way these men are digging, why...
The way these men are digging, Mr. Crocker, is fine. But there aren't enough of them. We'll have to lay rails faster, or the Union Pacific will meet us before we've got east of California.
Now, Judah, take it easy.
From last reports, they're proceeding towards a juncture with us faster than we're moving towards them.
Yes, but they've got twice our manpower, my
Then
boy.
we'll have to work twice as fast.
Mr. Judah,
What?
Just rode over from town, sir. Telegram came for you from Washington, D.C. Urgent.
Urgent, eh? Now let's see what they want. From Congressman Logan. Committee not satisfied with your choice of route over Sierra. Urgent you come at once. Take first available boat. It's impossible. I can't leave now.
You'd better, Judah, if they hold up those land grants.
I can't go, I tell you. We'll buy the land from them.
And the bonds? They were bought by the people of California on condition that the government guarantee them. We'd have enormous refunds to make out of money we've already spent. I'm afraid you'll have to go to Washington, Judah.
Very well. But this I promise you, sir. It will be my last trip by boat and through that infernal Panama jungle. My last trip. Do you hear?
Now, Theodore, stop being so restless. At least we've gotten safely across Panama and the jungle, and in a few days this boat will dock in New York, and then in no time at all...
Yes, Anna, in no time at all. Just weeks and weeks wasted. Boat trips up and down oceans, pack burrows in Panama jungles. Well, the railroad will change all that.
Maybe the next time we make this trip.
The next time? What next time, Anna?
Theodore, what's the matter, dear? Are you ill?
Anna, do you remember our last trip west? That little child? Do you remember, Anna?
Yes, she was a sweet little girl.
Her name was Elizabeth. What was her last name, Anna?
I don't know, dear.
She sang for me. Did I tell you that? She sang for me, and then she died. Of Panama fever, they said. She caught it while crossing the swamps. Just think, Anna. In those days, you had to go all the way down to Panama to get from the United States to the United States. Don't you think that's funny, Anna?
Darling, come back to the cabin with me. You're not well.
Why don't you laugh, Anna? Didn't you hear to get across the United States, you had to leave the country and go to Panama? That doesn't make sense at all.
Theodore, you've got to lie down. It must be a touch of the sun. Come with me, dear, and I'll get the ship's doctor to look at you. Well, what is it, Doctor?
Tell me, Mrs. Judah, did you and your husband board this ship at Panama?
Why, yes, we did.
And did you come by way of the Panama swamps?
Yes.
Mrs. Judah, it is not too much sun your husband is suffering from. He has Panama fever.
Anna! Anna!
Yes, Theodore.
The surveys, Anna. Give them to me.
Darling, don't you think you should just
Give them to me!
Here, yes, dear. Here they are.
See here, Anna. This pass, the one I found, it's the only route, Anna. When you go back to California, you'll tell them that it's the only route.
You'll tell them yourself, darling. The doctors say you're going to get well, and in a little while...
Remember
we'll go
when
together.
we found it, Anna? You and I, together. Up there, almost 7,000 feet. Remember how cold your hands were? Remember, it wasn't there, they said. You couldn't lay tracks over those mountains, they said, but we showed them. We showed them. Didn't we, Anna?
Yes. Theodore. Theodore. Doctor. Doctor!
No. No, doctor. I want to be here alone with you, Anna. I want to tell you. I see something, Anna.
Shh, darling. Shh.
I see a place. A level place. In Nevada, maybe. Or Utah, 2 trains. They come towards each other on a single track. Do you know where those tracks lead, Anna? From California, all the way to New York.
Shh, darling, shush.
That's right, Anna. The railroad will be there, and I needn't tire myself anymore, Anna. Yes, my work is done.
Time, February 1931. Place, Sacramento, California. The American Society of Civil Engineers is meeting to dedicate a monument to one of its charter members, a pioneer for American engineering history.
Gentlemen, the inscription on this monument reads, "That the West may remember Theodore Judah, civil engineer and tireless advocate of the first Transcontinental Railroad in America. This monument is erected by the men and women of the Southern Pacific Company, who today are carrying on the work he started in 1860.
Theodore Judah died November 2nd, 1863. His railroad was built past the site of this monument, over the lofty Sierra, along the line of Judah's survey, to a junction with the Union Pacific at Promontory, Utah, where on May 10th, 1869, the last spike was driven home.
The Dupont Cavalcade of America comes to you from the Belasco Theater in New York and is sponsored by the Dupont Company of Wilmington, Delaware, makers of better things for better living through chemistry.